we head back to the mountains to see if the new Volvo V90 Cross Country can outperform the Subaru Outback Onyx XT on an icy hill climb. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. The Volvo V90 Cross Country is a stylish and sophisticated wagon. It competes in a category with so few competitors, here in America we can narrow it down to just two. The all-new 2020 Audi A6 Allroad, which we have yet to review, and the new Subaru Outback, which Subaru has loaned to us for a full year. Though the Volvo is the more expensive option, both the V90 Cross Country and the Subaru Outback are cross-shopped quite a bit. As buyers consider if they really need to spend the extra money for the V90 Cross Country, or does the new Subaru Outback have all the amenities and capabilities they really need. In terms of size, the Volvo is 4 inches longer and 5 inches wider, but that size doesn't pay off in cargo capacity, with the Volvo only providing 53.9 cubic feet, and the Outback offering up to 75.5 cubic feet overall. Of course, the Volvo is a proper luxury car with amenities and pricing to match. As you see it here with every optional package, it's priced at $67,750, including destination. Our long-term Onyx Outback XT has most of the available options, and it's only $39,718 out the door. In spite of the price difference, there are compelling reasons to compare the two. Both are lifted and ruggedized station wagons. Both have all-wheel drive with specialized off-road modes. Both can be found in the front of Starbucks on any given day. Does Volvo make a compelling argument to spend extra money on the V90 Cross Country? That is what we're going to find out. Under the hood of the Volvo is a 2-liter 4-cylinder that's been both supercharged and turbocharged to make up to 316 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it powers all 4 wheels through what Volvo confirmed to be a 4th-generation Borg-Warner all-wheel drive system. This is a setup that is formerly known as the Haldex system. EPA rates the Volvo at 20 miles to the gallon in the city and 30 on the highway. Open the rear door with a wave of your foot. Though the space is smaller than the Outback, it still is a very useful area, with a spare under the floor and seats that fold flat. Like the Subaru, the rear gate has both close and close lock buttons in easy reach. The opening for the second row is a bit smaller than you might expect.
But once you're in, it's pretty nice. This huge panorama sunroof just lets in all the light. I also have sunscreens, 2 USB-C sockets. I also can control my own air conditioning. No seat warmers back here though. For the money, I kind of would have hoped to have those. I do get an armrest with pop-out cup holders, a storage bin for a phone, and an extra storage bin.
Moving up front, the Volvo starts to really show up the Subaru in terms of luxury, from the delicately crafted start switch to the full digital gauge cluster.
The interior of the V90 Cross Country has an interior you would expect from Volvo. This is one of the finest interiors on the market right now. And wow, compare this to what you get in the Subaru Outback and it's night and day. This is true premium luxury, whereas the Outback is more utility. Very nice, comfortable seats, nice display, but more utility. This one kind of takes that whole concept and kicks it up a notch. We have seats that not only are comfortable, they're also contoured to my body. I have lots of adjustments down here. I even have massage, and you also have both heating and ventilation, plus I can also heat the steering wheel. When Volvo first came out with this central touchscreen, I wasn't terribly stoked on it, and that was mostly because it was slow. It had a slight delay in the responsiveness. However, now it's very quick. There is a small learning curve because it's a little different than any other car that you might have driven if you've never driven a Volvo. But once you figure it out, it's actually really easy to use and configure. It's a very enjoyable experience. Not only can we control aircon and vehicle settings such as traction control systems, lane keeping, cross-traffic alerts, you can even flip down the rear headrest. That's a Volvo specialty. I also control my heads-up display. But beyond that, it is of course the central control for your navigation. And the navigation on this is pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and set my destination. I can just right here directly on the screen.
B, L, I, C.
Navigation.
The route is being calculated. Please proceed to the highlighted route.
And away we go. I can also cancel that very quickly. Oh, and once navigation pops up here, it also gives me turn by turn in my digital display because of course, yes, this has a digital gauge cluster. Unlike some other car makers, it doesn't go full customization. You can just kind of change what's in the center area, but it is still really nice and it gives a lot of great information. Let's try an audio search. Find Victor's Coffee.
Select a POI in the list.
What does it mean? Search it in a list. There's no list. You're not doing anything. Set the temperature to 70 degrees.
Temperature set to 70 degrees.
I actually got that right. And that is the nice thing about integrated car systems versus using a mobile device assistant, is that the integrated car systems can, of course, control the car. The voice assistants can't do that yet. All they can do is, do searches and play music.
Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. Unfortunately, the Volvo doesn't support wireless connections, so you will have to plug in via USB.
This is a gorgeous display, so I will give them credit for that, and of course it works very quickly. In typical Swedish style, the steering wheel is very simple with just some iconography to kind of hint at what the options are here. I do get adaptive cruise control with lane centering, pedestrian detection, collision mitigation through the IntelliSafe system. I also get blind spot warning and rear cross traffic alerts. This vehicle does not have rear auto braking, which is kind of surprising considering Volvo is like the leader in safety when the Outback Onyx XT that we have long-term has that feature. Just because this vehicle is priced at the mid $60,000 range does not mean you need to spend that much to still get a really nice V90 Cross Country. This just happens to have all the options.
You can get into a V90 Cross Country starting at just over $55,000. Or if you want more luxury than the Subaru can offer, and smaller is okay, you can also look at the V60 Cross Country from Volvo. This starts at just over $46,000. We did a complete review of the V60 Cross Country just last year, including some off-road adventuring, so be sure to check out that video later. As for this V90 Cross Country, the interior is truly elevated above what you would get on any Subaru. The materials, design, and functionality are just better overall.
Volvo's done a smart job in incorporating their charging pad. Now, I love how you can just kind of hide everything here with this kind of burled wood. It just slides out of the way, which is nice, and then it reveals a charging pad for a compatible device. Do we have a good vibe for what the interior is here? Now let's see how this drives, and then we'll take it up to the mountains. Oh, there's one more thing we need to talk about here, and that's drive modes. This has a whole bunch of them. We have Eco for efficient drive, Comfort for everyday, Dynamic, which is the high performance mode, and then we also have Off-Road, which gives extra off-road capability, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. Now let's go see how these systems affect power output. We're going to do it right over here.
This is a real-world test to see how aggressively power can shift to the back. First, we'll test comfort. There's a slight spin and then a grip from the front wheels. Very little action from the rear until it gets a full rotation in, which is to be expected in this setting. Next, dynamic. The results are very similar to comfort in terms of launching power delivery. Finally, off-road. We would hope to see more aggressive power to the back here, but instead, it's actually very similar to the other modes in this exact situation. Now for the next set of tests, we'll head to the mountains. On the way, we can try out some of the more everyday features of this V90 Cross Country.
On the freeway, the V90 is very comfortable. It's quiet in the cabin, these seats are exceptional, and yeah, I have the massage units going right now. Very nice. It does have all of the advanced safety stuff you would expect thanks to the IntelliSafe system. We have collision detection, pedestrian detection, blind spot warnings with nice big indicators on the side. And it also has adaptive cruise control with lane centering. That lane centering system they call Pilot Assist. And it will steer the car for you and keep center to the lane for, a few seconds here and there. It is not an autonomous system, but it is the first steps towards semi-autonomy. And it does a really good job, of course. This is a Volvo. You would expect their safety stuff to be top-notch, and it is. I really like this gauge cluster. It's not very customizable, not as customizable as even the Audi that we tested just a few weeks ago, but it does give you a lot of good information, and I like the maps right in the center. That way I can play with the stereo over here, but I still have maps available over here. Power out of this engine is very good for freeway cruising. I'm loafing along at 2,000 RPM as I'm climbing up the mountains. Pretty nice. Maintaining an easy clip, passing is easy, all the things that you would expect with an engine of this output. And I like the fact that it's exceptional, but still really practical. And yeah, it's expensive, but it's not ridiculous for what you're getting. You really get what you feel is a special vehicle. This is one of those things you step into every day and you're like, yeah, I like this. This is great. The heads-up display is kind of useful. I'm just not a huge fan of them in general. Here it gives me my speedo and all that stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull off onto the mountain roads and start to have some real fun with this thing. So it snowed 2 days ago, and it's been mostly around freezing at this level for the last couple days. So road conditions are, borderline icy, moist, but not too bad. Oh yeah, feel the power. There are a variety of drive modes here. Let's go ahead and move from comfort to dynamic, which is the high performance setting. Our vehicle is also equipped with the optional air suspension. Unlike some other air suspension systems, this one does not raise the vehicle up. It is instead used for leveling of the back as well as, basic adaptive suspension things like absorbing bumps and all that kind of stuff, depending on various road conditions. The transmission here is an 8-speed automatic. I can switch over here and manually shift if I like. Responsive. There's no paddle shifters. Volvo is not selling this under any pretense of being a sports car. It is a practical vehicle that lets you have a little fun too. Let's get this turned on and try a 0 to 60. Just gotta wait for the GPS to sync. I'm gonna confirm drive mode is dynamic. Shifter in drive. 3, 2, 1, go. Pretty good launch. Ooh, that power kicks in and 60. 6.34 seconds with a 2.44 on the 0 to 30 brake. But the Volvo V60 isn't about 0 to 60 times. It's about going off the beaten path, finding adventure. So we're going to take it into the mountains now and see how well this all-wheel drive system responds in a variety of conditions. And it'll also give us a great comparison with that Subaru Outback Onyx XT because this is the same roads that we tested on yesterday. Now, it's a little obviously not scientific because road conditions change slightly, but we did literally film the Outback Onyx XT dual X mode video on these same roads yesterday. It has not snowed, but it has maintained about freezing. So the conditions should be fairly similar. Even on this really bumpy road, the air suspension in the back is doing an amazing job of soaking up these bumps. It's almost like they're not even there. I'm not kidding. This is a great suspension setup for conditions like this. This is so smooth over these really pothole-ridden roads. It's doing a remarkable job. Let's see if we can get that back to kick out a little bit. We're just in dynamic mode. Let's throttle around the corner. No. And it's a Volvo. It's kind of what you expect. As we go up into the mountains, it's starting to be snow on the road now. And oh yeah, this is a winter wonderland. I am rolling on all-season radials, so let's keep that in mind as we do this. And I am about to dip into the trickier part of this drive, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it from comfort to off-road. That'll optimize the suspension and the all-wheel drive system for slippery conditions. Ooh, I can feel it's icy out there on the road. We might have had a little thaw yesterday afternoon and then a refreeze, so this could be pretty treacherous. Now, this is the part of the trail where the Volvo XC90 e-drive had an issue. So let's see how it does when it's covered with ice in this traditional petrol-powered V90 Cross Country. No problem, man. Like a champ. Okay, let's go up to the more challenging part and see if it continues to impress. It looks really icy out there. Like that's a lot of ice. This is going to be tough. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. I'm already in the drive mode off-road. There's really nothing else for me to do. Now what this should do is optimize wheel braking so that if a wheel spins, it'll put a pause on that wheel by applying the brake, which then redistributes power back into the system, much like many other all-wheel drive systems. Okay, starting off and already spinning these all-season radials. Oh man, this is going to be tough. This is actually the most difficult part of the course, is in the front, and this is where traction will be completely removed from two wheels as we elevate them off the ground, basically. So with that elevated, I'm just going to keep my foot in the throttle and we'll see if this sorts it out. Oh, it's going really fast. Can it figure it out? Is it too slippery? Come on! Okay, let's give it a fighting chance here and actually have a little momentum through it. A little momentum. Come on, can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? Oh, oh, oh! It does it! Okay, how about challenge number 2 now? You got this? Oh, come on! Come on. That power shifting around. Now there's no display for me to be able to see what's going on here. And though there is a front camera, I can't turn it on while driving normally. That would be a nice thing to see. You know, it'd be really nice to have that front camera turn on while I'm in off-road mode. That would be something I think they should add, because I don't see it. Oh, there we go. Let's do, can I do front camera? No, that's just back camera. That's it? Can do 360 view? Okay, well that's something. Okay, we're kind of a little bit slippery here. Come on, you got this. Get these wheels straight. Doesn't have any problem wheel spinning, that's for sure. Let's go back and reset a little. Now we've slipped off the main track and we're on ice. Oh, 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 there we go. Just some, a better line and through it we go. And now, whoop, come on. Oh look, suspension is auto leveling, or at least trying to. Let's get back on a little more dirt here. Come on. It's having no problem spinning those wheels, that's for sure. And I am starting to slide backward on the ice, which is no fun. Okay, we got this. Oh, not quite. use the line. Nope, let's go. Okay, let me go out and inspect what we have here, because I feel like it's a little slippery. So we got that side there. We got that, oh, that is a rock, but we're not on it. Okay, good. I'm having flashbacks to that Land Rover Evoque review from a little while ago. This is just a reminder of how fast things can go south. Actually, maybe I'll just try again. Try a complete turnaround and do this again, because I don't feel like I'm gonna get straight at this point. I let myself get too far off kilter, and that was my mistake. Go around here because I don't want to high center. 8.3 inches of ground clearance is good, but it's not a forerunner.
While we reset the course, let's take a quick look to see how the 2020 Subaru Outback Onyx XT did in similar conditions. As you can see, the Subaru is more aggressive in transferring power compared to the Volvo when put in a similar situation. Now, let's try the hill again in the V90 Cross Country. This time we'll do it without stopping to see if it can make it to the top.
Gonna keep the wheels as straight as possible. There we go, just keep a little momentum, 4 miles an hour, it's doing fine. Okay, see, not that bad. There is one more thing to look at here, and that is the hill descent control system. So if I'm in off-road mode, which it still is, that's good, it should just auto-engage as I go down the hill. Let me verify that it's on up here. I don't think I have to do anything here. Okay. Okay, so it just catches it at way too fast, way too fast. Can I turn that down with cruise control? No, it wants to do it at 5 miles an hour. That is not acceptable. On snow and ice like this, sometimes you need 1 to 2 miles per hour. 5, not okay. Still, the all-wheel drive system in this is quite good. Would I take this or the Subaru? I still feel like you have more options with the Subaru. I stopped multiple times with the Subaru and I was able to get up this same climb with no problems just yesterday. Every line is a little bit different. Yes, that could have been the cause of why I got stuck in the middle with this one and had to turn around. But at the end of the day, I just feel like Subaru is still the better off-roader. However, if 90% of your life is around town and off-road, is just an occasional weekend thing or 2 to 3 times a year, this is a superior daily car. It's also 20 grand more as we have it here. So, got to keep that in mind. Which would you pick? Post a comment below. Also be sure to subscribe, like our videos. We make these for you and we need your support. So thanks for watching and we'll see you again right here next week.